Welcome to your deep dive, everybody. Ready to go deep.
Always.
Today we're diving into the story of Samuel Bateman.
Oh, this one's a tough one.
It's fascinating,
Yeah.
but it's deeply disturbing too. We've got court documents, news reports, even glimpses into people's lives that got caught up in all this.
It's a real mess.
Our goal,
Mm.
we want to understand how this could happen and what it all means.
This case, it really highlights how vulnerable these isolated communities can be,
Yeah,
especially when you throw unchecked power into the mix. We're not just talking about one man's crimes here.
well,
This is religious extremism, child exploitation.
wow.
The whole justice system is struggling to deal with these closed societies.
Okay, let's break this down.
Sure.
Samuel Bateman, he didn't just come out of nowhere, did he?
Not at all. He started as a follower of Warren Jeffs,
Oh, well, yeah.
the leader of the FLDS.
The Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Exactly. Often linked to polygamy and, unfortunately, to abuse of young girls.
Right.
Jeffs himself was convicted back in 2011.
For sexual assault of underage followers.
That's right.
So Bateman was already in a controversial group.
Yes.
What happened next?
Well, Bateman, just like Jeffs, declared himself a prophet. He split from the FLDS around 2019, claiming he was taking orders straight from Heavenly Father. That's when things got really bad. He amassed over 20 spiritual wives, many of them underage girls, some as young as 9 years old.
Hold on. So these weren't legal marriages.
No, not at all. These weren't even ceremonial marriages. This was Bateman twisting religion to justify the sexual abuse of children.
It's awful. And it gets even worse, doesn't it? I mean, he didn't just have these so-called marriages. He had a whole system of control.
Right. He used public confessions for any perceived wrongdoing. And the punishments.
What kind of punishments are we talking about?
Public shaming, and you guessed it, sexual abuse.
Oh, my God. This is crazy.
He'd require some of his male followers to atone for their sins, real or imagined, by offering up their wives and daughters to him. The pressure, the coercion, it's mind-boggling.
It's terrifying. And he wasn't just operating in one town, was he?
No, he was all over the place. Arizona, Utah, Colorado, even Nebraska. He moved constantly, which made it so much harder to track him to protect those girls.
So how did this all come crashing down? I bet his arrest was dramatic.
It was. Picture this. August 2022, Bateman's driving through Flagstaff, Arizona, pulling a trailer. Someone sees little fingers poking out from the slats in the door. They call the police.
Wait, what was in the trailer?
3 young girls, between 11 and 14 years old. The conditions were awful. No ventilation, a makeshift toilet,
Oh, God.
a sofa, some camping chairs. It was clear these girls were being abused. You'd think that's where it would end, but there's more.
Oh, no, I have a feeling this is going to get worse.
Bateman posted bond after that arrest. He was rearrested a short while later
For what?
for obstructing justice in a federal investigation.
When were they investigating?
Whether he was transporting minors across state lines for sexual activity.
I see. So what happened to the girls in the trailer?
Child Protective Services took 9 children from Bateman's home in Colorado City into custody. But here's the crazy part. 8 of them escaped from foster care in Arizona.
You're kidding. Where did they go? Did they find them?
They found them hundreds of miles away in Washington State. One of Bateman's adult wives was driving them.
Oh, wow. This just gets more and more unbelievable. He wasn't alone in this. He had adults helping him.
This is classic cult behavior. It's that system of control, of coercion. These women, they were probably victims themselves, brainwashed to the point of being complicit.
It's heartbreaking. So what's happening now? What are the legal consequences for Bateman?
Well, he pleaded guilty to transporting minors across state lines for sexual acts and kidnapping some of them from protective custody. He's looking at 20 to 50 years in prison.
That seems like a long time.
But it's not the whole story. Each conviction could actually carry a life sentence.
Really?
And there's a competency evaluation going on right now.
Oh, right.
Depending on what the doctors say, sentencing could be delayed. He might even be sent to a psychiatric facility until he's fit to stand trial.
Wow. So what about his followers? Those wives who were helping him?
7 of them have already been convicted.
For what?
For their roles in the abuse and kidnapping. Some of them admitted to coercing girls into becoming Bateman's wives. to witnessing the abuse, and even to participating in the kidnapping from foster care.
It's terrible. And it wasn't just the women, was it? I read that 2 men were also involved.
Yes, 2 brothers from Colorado City, they're in serious trouble. They were convicted for helping Bateman transport children for sexual activity.
What did they do?
One of them bought Bateman 2 Bentleys, the other a Range Rover. They're both facing 10 years to life. They'll be sentenced soon.
This is just sickening. It's like he was using money from his followers, the people he was exploiting, to buy himself luxury cars.
It just shows how much control Bateman had over this group, financially and otherwise. He wasn't just a spiritual leader, he was everything to them. Their guide, their provider, their punisher. He held their lives in his hands.